Syruslife! Hey, what are you doing? It's a bit of a slow day for news, but you still have a message of hate that you need to push. Rhetorical question. If you're CNN, you make up some news, and then you bring on some guy to defend himself and his ilk against a song that's like 20 years old. Let's listen.
Some movie theaters were worried about possible violence this weekend when the hip-hop biopic Straight Outta Compton hit the screen, but instead, all the hype and the heightened security only led to longer lines, ticket lines, and also some big money, too.
How sad did she sound when she said it led to longer lines and some big money, too? Oh, so you're saying what? A Hollywood movie made money? You don't say.
Cruising down the street in my 6'5".
Hey, that was dope, eh?
Compton's very own Ice Cube, Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre. I gotta tell you, you are witnessing history.
Straight Outta Compton is the real-life story of the hip-hop group NWA with the backdrop of late 80s LA gang culture.
That's what it is. It's a real-life story of hip-hop group NWA set on the LA backdrop, whatever. It's a story about a group.
And street life. And it made an estimated $56.1 million, a box office record for an R-rated movie debuting in August. It more than doubled its projections and more than tripled the weekend's #2 movie, Mission Impossible.
A movie made money. Unbelievable. Let's report this.
Joining me now live from Atlanta, CNN law enforcement analyst Cedric Alexander, who's a member of the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing. So Cedric, thanks so much for coming back on about this topic. I wanted to ask you, as we went into the weekend, there was a lot of question as to whether certain theaters really needed security, additional security, for this film. And as it turned out, film went off without a hitch. There were no...
Why'd you say security and then she said additional security? All I'm hearing, well, not all I'm hearing, but the hatefulness behind this is, hey, this movie is gonna attract a certain crowd of people, so we need to be scared and protect ourselves against violence.
No problems anywhere. Critics are saying, see, we told you so. Others are saying it's because the security was there. How do you weigh in?
Well, you know, in light of everything that's going on in the country, I think that theaters took the right choice by making sure that not knowing, because so much is unpredictable.
His politically correct way of saying, well, protests have turned violent and we don't know if where a group of black people are gathered, if it'll get violent.
Today in our society. And of course, this is a movie that for some creates some concern, but however, there was no reported, that I'm aware of, no reported incident. So I think that speaks hugely to the crowds that went to watch this movie.
What does it say about them? That they went to go watch a movie? Because they're human beings, and human beings sometimes go watch movies? That's a fucking lame.
There are some police organizations that are calling on people, their members, and maybe even beyond their members, not to see this movie because of the message they think it sends. Some say, no, this is a reflection of the time. Others say this could actually gin up a lot of anti-police sentiment.
Some police groups don't want you to go see this movie because why? They're going to show you, well, the movie will show you what police used to do and what they're still doing today. Is that why they don't want you to go see that movie? Or is it because it sends a certain message of like a group of guys who are in unfortunate circumstances and they formed a group and, you know, became friends and whatever happened, it went through trials and tribulations and became successful black men? I guess they don't want either one of those messages sent out to the public.
What are your thoughts?
Well, let me start by saying this. First of all, I think anytime that you use that kind of language, F the police, is very derogatory, it's very disrespectful, and it certainly does not, it really has no place for as I'm concerned. There are a lot of men and women out there every day who are carrying out this job, putting their lives on the line. So I'm offended by it, and I'll speak for thousands of other police officers that are out there as well, too. That is very offensive. However, to your question...
yeah, answer the question that she asked, because she didn't ask about one line of a song within the movie. She asked, you know...
I was a police officer back in the mid-'80s when this song first came out. We didn't understand, maybe because of our own youth at that time, the volatility of what that may have projected, particularly during a time in Dade County, Florida, when we were coming up off a great deal of civil unrest around a number of events that had occurred as well, too. But I think a lot actually has been done to build those relationships across this country between police and community, and still a lot has to be done as well, too. But we really have to uphold our police officers, get away from this whole F the police to support the police, and the police as well continue to support their communities. That's where we have to go. We know how we got where we are, but it's about trying to get to the place we still need to get to.
And I love that you're looking forward, but I also want to look back, because that's what the movie's doing. It's looking back at some really harsh realities for black people, especially if they were involved in hip-hop culture at the time. And then you tell me, you know, you were a black beat cop back in the 80s, you know, probably pretty young on the job, etc. Did you have a feeling for the dynamic at the time between officers and the black community? Did you feel a strangeness about it, or were you just learning the ropes from the get-go?
Did you have a feeling between the black community and the police? Did you feel a strangeness between the relationship? That was the question.
Well, all of us were rather concerned about the lyric itself of the police. It was hurtful to us because we knew what we were out there trying to do. Not just black officers, white officers, Hispanic, Asian, men, women. We all were out there trying to do the very...
Is that what she asked? Did she ask? What?
The best that we could to keep a positive light in our community and to move through the struggles at that time. And that's what the men and women are doing today, all across all domains, white, black, LGBT communities. Everyone is working closely together to help bridge those gaps. So here again, as a young police officer, and those of us that...
Let's try to bring every group into this story for no reason.
What they're doing that time, we did not let it bother us. We stayed focused on what our mission was, and that was to serve.
You didn't let a song bother you? Okay, thank you, cops. I would have expected that, but since you needed to say it, I appreciate that. You didn't let a song bother you and stop you from doing your job. Thanks.
And to protect, and we're going to continue to do that today. But it's important that the American people understand that that type of language towards police is very derogatory. Very hurtful, it's very painful, and there's no place for it because we got to bridge this gap, and that is what's critically important as we move forward into the 21st century. And that's what the whole 21st Century Task Force was about, moving and progressing policing, progressing our communities as well.
I think back to Gloria Steinem and the bra burning movements and the voice that was heard by doing something really incendiary. Pardon the pun, in the street. Was there any other way to get heard than to do something that was as, you know, as unpleasant as something like F the police?
Okay, so we're past, there was no incident at any movie theater where people went to see a movie. Now, can black people, did they have any other choice to be heard except to make a song, Fuck the Police? Did they have any other voice or any other choice? Could they be heard any other way?
Well, you know, I had an opportunity to watch the movie over the weekend. It's really more of a history of NWA than it is anything else.
And with that one line, he erases the entire interview. An interview that did not need to be. Pointless news story.
How they started and to be where they are today. So
it was a movie about a group. Done.
When those young men who lived that experience out in LA County at that time, that was probably their only way of projecting what their anger is. However, the flip side of that, we cannot paint with a broad brush that all police are bad, because they're not. Many, 99.9%, and some people will object to it, are out there doing the right thing every day.
Hold on, so you can't paint with a broad brush that all police are bad? Is it kind of similar to the fact that you can't paint with a broad brush that all black people are violent, so you don't really need to put security at all the movie theaters where this movie is being shown because not all black people are violent? Cool, don't paint anybody with a fucking brush then. Piece of shit fucking guy. Get out of here.
Day. And those are the police officers we have to hold up. So yes, I understand what they experienced, and we understand what this country is going through today. But the way that we're going to move forward is what's important, to move away from this F the police to support the police and the police support community as well too. That's where we.
So we have to support the police first, and then the police will support us. I did not take a job to support the police. The police took a job, and I'm pretty sure one of their oaths are written on their cars or something like that. It says to serve and protect, right? So that's their job, to serve and protect the community. And then if they're doing a good job of that, then who's gonna say fuck the police? If the police are doing their job, then there wouldn't be anybody saying fuck the police, would there? Thank you for discrediting your own argument.
Got to be Ashley today.
I love having you on.
I think you're an idiot. I think you're both stupid. Syruslife, Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos. Syruslife, peace.